Well, I prepared a couple of slides concerning sustainability and how this connects to fashion and textiles. This is something that we all know, and I think it's something that we will have to come back to, and this is also one of the reasons that I think that we need to work in another way with textiles also, and how to make them more sustainable. We have limited resources, that's quite clear, and we all know about the limited resources of water, oil, the balance between cotton and food manufacturing also. This is a picture which I got from, I think it was from Pavan Sukhdev of GIST Advisories, and this really shows, I think this really shows the situation in which we're in. It's a very complex picture, but it's demonstrating what is happening currently with the consumption that we're having, that the consumption we're having and the rate that the consumption is increasing is not sustainable. We are not having the resources that can provide sustainably in the long term whatever we are consuming. We will need, with this development, we will need 4 globes. And this is really a warning, and this is also a sign of something that we need to consider on how to proceed. Where are we? Well, we are a part in Sweden. We have forest, we have quite a lot of forest, and we also have a lot of growth in the forest. And this growth can be used to replace oil. I made a simple calculation showing that if you would cut down all the growth in Sweden, we could replace all the fossil oil products that we are producing and consuming in Sweden yearly. However, whatever we can make out of oil, we can also make for other products out of, and that's quite logical, as oil and trees, they stem from the same origin. Oil is just much older, so whatever we can make out of oil, we can make out of tree, and that we have to do. We have to utilize the resources to go in that direction. And now, if we have limited resources, we need to utilize these resources in a more sustainable manner, and I would say that it's important that we consider what are we going to do with the resources if they are limited. The main requirements we have as humans is that we need somewhere to live, we need a house, we need food, and we also need something to wear, like clothes and textiles. So in that sense, textiles is one of the fundamental demands that we have. Looking on the current situation is that the development from 60 and onwards, you see that we have from 60s to 2012, or whatever happened. We have grown from consuming around 15 million tons of textiles to currently 92 million tons of textiles in 2015. If the growth will continue in the way that it's gone previously, we will be in 2050, we will be consuming 360 million tons of textiles, which is a tremendous growth. However, looking on what kind of materials currently is being used, 60% is coming out of oil, it's polyester. Cotton is, of course, 25%, it's a big demand, but it's not going to grow. So if we're going to provide the material for the growth, we need to look on something which I think is more sustainable, and which is why we think that cellulose made out of wood, made into textiles, has advantages. It's also a very nice material to work on, but it's sustainable, and it's not competing with food. This is what we are doing within Birla, and I think also that's something that's a growing concern from all the big companies producing textiles, that we need to utilize the resources we have in a more sustainable way. And this is just a way to show that what we in the Aditya Birla Group are doing. The Domsjö Fabriker, which is producing this product, is a part of the Indian conglomerate Aditya Birla Group. But now, when we are in the situation we are, I think that we need to consider how to proceed. With insufficient resources, we need to be even more careful in the way that we're utilizing the resources we have. And I think that we need to take steps further in order to make the value chain from forest, from sustainable forestry, all the way up to fashion in a sustainable way. It's not a question on just being sustainable in one part. We have to make sure that each part is sustainable, and also that the chain optimizes the resources in between the different parts of the value chain. And this is where I am very concerned, and I think that we have a valuable resource in Sweden and also globally, in the forest asset, and that we should utilize in the best possible way. We could and should and shall use it to produce a house. We could at the same time produce material for textiles such as this. But in order to have a high yield or utilize the resources in the best way, we need to produce not only wood for houses, textiles, or cellulose for textiles. We can also get much more out of the tree, like chemicals. We can actually also get bioenergy. And to make this chain or these value chains sustainable and a part of the bioeconomy, that's, I think, is where we have a challenge. And we also have an opportunity, because this can be a value chain in which textiles is one part, which can actually be sustainable and also provide more resources than it requires. And this is also why I say that we should talk about not only one material, we should talk about several different materials, of which textiles is one. This is what is being done currently out of the products we make from the wood. Different kind of textiles, but also different kind of chemicals. Different products such as not cement or concrete. It's actually a material that is being used as an admixture when you produce concrete. But this is the way to be more sustainable in utilizing resources, and in that sense, textiles is one part. And then I want to end with saying that there are many shades of green, and this is one of them. Thanks.
Thank you, Lars.